how they did in their chanting? Just raise your hand, please. If anyone would like to say. Yes. There's a microphone somewhere in Paris. It's not difficult.
Thank you so much for the session. I could concentrate on every mantra.
Wow. There's something I wanted to say about that, and that is, it's a gift. Because I find sometimes, it's like my mind is wandering a lot, and I'm trying to listen, and then it's very, very, very difficult to hear even one mantra. Maybe I hear a word, and then one of the holy names, then my mind wanders, and then it's a struggling. It's like I'm trying to catch Krishna, but I'm not able to catch Krishna. And then sometimes when I'm trying my best, then I find that I can do it. That suddenly, it's like Krishna, I'm trying to catch Krishna, he's turned around and grabbed me. Now, this time is a very important time, when you actually find that you're able to hear. And understand it's a gift, it's a gift, it's a gift. It's a gift from Krishna. And sometimes what I've found is that I can hear anytime I want. And then my mind thinks, well, I can hear anytime I want, so why bother hearing now? I have a very tricky mind. My mind sometimes says, I can hear anytime, I can put it, so I won't do it now. And then in a second it can be gone, that ability. Because it wasn't my ability, it was a gift from Krishna. So we try our best to be sincere, we try our best to hear one Hare Krishna mantra, and we try our best to pray that, just see, I can't even hear one Hare Krishna mantra, or please allow me to serve you, please accept me as your servant. And then if we can hear, if we're able to hear, then we should take really strong advantage of that, and don't take it for granted. It's a gift, and it's a very important gift from Krishna. So if someone gives you a gift that has great value, if you use it wisely, then you may even get some more gifts. But if you say, oh, this gift, I can look at it any time, just put it here and forget about it for a while, then why would that person give you any more if you don't value what he's giving you? Is that clear what I wanted to say? Yeah, so if by Krishna's grace you're able to hear sometimes, know it's a gift and don't take it for granted. So I'm very fortunate you got a gift. Hare Krishna. Anyone else like to say how they did? Yes. After
Actually, initially the focus was very good, but sometimes, when you're trying to chant the holy names, you tend to also...
Don't say you, say I. Yes.
I tend to also sometimes visualize the form of the Lord. When I try to do that, I kind of miss hearing the holy names.
Yes.
So it's a constant tussle between visualizing the form of the Lord, which I'm not supposed to. I'm just supposed to hear the holy name. But my mind tends to flicker between the two, and sometimes both of them are lost. So it's basically this kind of a tussle.
What a wonderful problem. But it's okay, it's fine to do both at the same time. It's wonderful if the form of the Lord naturally comes. But if you want to force it, then you can, or force thinking about Krishna's pastimes, or, because I had that experience. There's many years ago, I wanted to remember Vrindavan when I was chanting, so I used, because I'm a photographer also, so I used to take out 10, 12, 14, 16, even 20 photographs of Vrindavan, and then the purpose was to chant in a mood of Vrindavan. But then I would start moving them around, and this order isn't good, and this is here, and I forget everything. I forget what I'm supposed to do. So if you visualize the form of the Lord, that's fine. But the test is, everything should help your hearing. Like some devotees, they look at there's a special name for it, but they look at the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in English or in Devanagari or Kannada language, the script, and just to help them focus sometimes. So they say, maybe they'll ask, is that good? And yes, it's wonderful if it helps you hear, focus your mind. I saw some of the devotees looking at beautiful deities in their photograph form. Yes, if it helps you focus your mind, it's wonderful. But if your mind starts saying, now I think I should think of the form of the Lord. Oh no, maybe I should just try and hear. No, maybe I should do this. Or maybe I should try to do both at once. And also, what do I have to do tomorrow? And where was that again? At what time I have to be there and have so many... The mind is so tricky and so subtle. If you forget what you're doing for a moment and forget your determination, it's like a thread. And it may seem perfectly logical that it has to do with your chanting. But very soon, your mind has gone into outer space. And I shouldn't say your, because my mind, that's what it does. You hold on to something other than what you're supposed to be doing, and the mind can be gone. So keep focused on the hearing is the main thing. And just like, do you have any children? Yes. Son or daughter? What a team. But say if you call your son's name, now, and if you're thinking of him. Usually the example works better when the children are young, because then they don't get embarrassed that we're talking about them. But say if you call your child's name, it doesn't distract you if you know it's your child. It's not like there's the name and the person. The two become one when you're calling them. So if we call Krishna in that way, that's wonderful. Yeah, he's a person. Nice comment, thank you. Hare Krishna. Mataji, did you want to say something?
Hare Krishna, Bhurijan.
Yes.
I had a question, then I asked you.
Okay, but first, please say how your chanting was, if you would like to do so.
Lord Prabhu, thank you so much for giving us the simplicity of chanting history. So, I just want to...
Why is simple better than complicated?
Easy to follow.
Yeah. Because the minds in our minds, my mind in Kali Yuga is so complicated, and it looks for any excuse to go away. It wants to make things complicated. Yes.
I wanted to narrate like how yesterday after the Japa, then I tried whatever techniques you mentioned in the morning, today morning. So, and I was putting full effort to concentrate, and it went really well for at least 8 or 9 rounds.
Oh,
and
that's why I say, did you hear one mantra? Keep your goal very...
So each round, at least 80% of the time I could concentrate well. But after that time, then I was feeling very tired.
Yes.
So, and it's like almost like, okay, take it easy kind of. I could do after that.
Yes. Yesterday we had one Mataji doing push-ups, yes? Not actually, but we want our minds to become stronger too. And it's not good to over-exert. Like I was telling our younger ones that, don't force and push too much. You can get up and walk around, and then when you want to, you can come back to it. Because if it's too much of a struggle, then it's hard to do it day after day after day. So you have to, there's an example, even Prabhupada used this example, when you're training a horse, if you're always pulling back on the reins, then it's going to eventually bolt and run like anything. So we have to be a little bit clever when we're training the horse, and what to speak of the wild horse of our mind. We pull back a little bit, then give it a little room, and then pull back a little bit. Yes, I know what you mean. So what did you do?
I actually let it on.
Yeah, okay. And how did you do with your chanting tonight?
I actually just came in from office, so it was really, I couldn't concentrate much.
Did you try to prepare your mind?
Yeah, I did try.
And did you try to make the goal very simple?
Yes, I did.
And still you weren't able to do it?
The first round I could not, but second round was better.
How wonderful. And you heard one Hare Krishna mantra?
Yes.
So fortunate.
But slowly, until these sessions go on, I'll be okay. I think
Say again?
until you are here and giving us your association and we are doing this, I'll be okay, but after a week I can't say this.
I have, okay. But I'll also be the same. So sometimes we can sit together with a few devotees maybe and just remind each other to do it, to what we're doing. And really it's rare. It's rare. I was thinking that it might be nice, like once a week on a Sunday or something like that, or when I suggested this to Sri Prabhu, he said maybe once a week is too much for the devotees considering all things, but on a Sunday, once every week or 2 weeks or once a month, just all get together and chant Japa together, maybe remind each other. I think it's once a week is good because then you have some impetus to, some strength comes for the next week. Because it's difficult when we're alone and we're dealing with the material energy. Those of us who work or putting their beloved children through school, their mind is on so many different things. And what to speak of, the traffic in Bangalore. We all joke about it, but it's not easy because, there are some wonderful things about it. Because one wonderful thing about it is if you think you're the center of the universe and the universe should organize itself around you and your desires, just go and try and drive somewhere in Bangalore and you'll see that the universe refuses. It refuses to cooperate. So it's very humbling. But if you can become humble, otherwise you can easily just become angry too. So it's, it can teach us a lot. But on the other side, it's torture. I guess if you put kirtans on and lectures on and yes, okay, thank you. Okay, you two are next, okay? Okay?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisance.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I just came today and what I could realize is that in the beginning, when I was just chanting, I could see that mind was just moving in and out. So it was not allowing me to chant.
Oh, let me ask you a question. you could see that the mind was moving in and out.
Yes.
So who was seeing?
Myself. I could
So-
realize that, the mind
that
is
was-
just,
Okay, so at least you saw that you were different from your mind,
yeah.
because you were watching your mind do something almost completely against your desire.
Yes.
Yes.
Because
So you're not your mind. Remember that. It'll come in very handy next time. Because we tend to identify with our bodies certainly, but also so much with our minds. And every time the mind really holds on to something, we tend to fully think that it's us, and our mind tricks us so much like that.
Especially when I was just opening my eyes, I could see that I'm getting distracted, even though I was saying proper, but still I couldn't concentrate on the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra.
What did I tell you before?
You have to make your mind ready.
But what did I tell you just before I interrupted your
The
speaking?
mind.
What did I tell you? What did I say? Huh?
I'm
different from the mind.
Yes, you're different
So
from.
after that, what I did is I just closed my eyes because you went on telling Prabhu that do your best and try to hear one mantra. So when I started doing that again and again, I could see that I could only hear the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So I went on and on. I could just hear only the Hare Krishna Maha
And you
Mantra.
did that successfully.
Yes, I could.
You're happy?
I'm very happy.
And then who is this young lady right in front of you?
She's my sister's daughter.
Okay. You were trying very hard and nicely, and I appreciate it very much. Hare Krishna. How old are you?
13.
Okay. Hare Krishna. If you practice this chanting and try your best, it will help you so much in your life. I mean, that goes for everyone, but it's so much. The younger we are when we learn to control our minds, the more fortunate we are, in a sense, as long as we don't get proud. Okay, but first, who should go first? Okay,
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
someone wants. Oh, Mataji, guess what? I already promised to our young friends here. Do you mind if you go next? Okay. A little louder. But first tell me how your chanting was.
It was nice, very nice. So I had just one question.
But what does it mean? What does it mean when you say your chanting is nice? What do you mean by that?
In beginning and the end, the focus was there. In middle, it was flickering.
Just to be that conscious of what your mind is doing at this age is very fortunate. So one should become determined to try one's best, okay? Okay, now what is your question?
The question was, sometimes when for focusing, when we close our eyes, suddenly we feel sleepy.
Yes.
Or else, but when we open our eyes, we get distracted. So how to avoid that?
One thing is take enough rest at night. Because it's very hard if you're very, very tired. Just like if sometimes the devotees to chant their rounds, they get up very early in the morning, then they have to go to work all day long or something, and then they come and someone tells them to try their best for an hour or two to chant. And it's tired. One can get tired. So first principle is make sure you get enough rest. Okay, did you get enough rest today? Okay. Then that's a tendency. Now, when we get sleepy, that's called the mode of ignorance class. That's the mode of ignorance affecting us. And when we open our eyes and get distracted, that's the kirta, or the mode of passion, distractedness of the mind. So we want to cultivate which mode of material nature? Goodness. We want to live our life as much as we practically can in goodness. Now, how do we do that? Do you have a mobile phone? Yes, okay. Do you have a smartphone or a dumb phone? Okay. Who's smarter, you or your phone? Phone? Then who's the boss, you or your phone? Okay. Now you want to reverse that. Because that will make the mind flickering. Yeah, so this is true for all of us. I mean, for me too. You know, it's what do they call it? I've heard many devotees call it weapon of mass distraction. Is that famous?
Mass distraction.
Yeah, isn't it? A weapon of mass distraction. So that will be one thing. Also, you want to live a balanced life. Do you have time to play every day and things like that, and use your energy like that? Yes. And also another thing, if you chant in the morning, it can be easier rather than a hard day at school and things like that. And how do you do in school? You do quite well? I think I asked you that already.
Yes.
But it's not easy, certainly. But try your best. So which to do? If the choice is if I close my eyes I'll go to sleep, and if I open them, so you put quite a puzzle in front of me. Because then you can't keep your eyes open or closed. So you keep going like this. Like the yogis stare at the tip of their nose. Or you can stand up sometimes, and then when you get a little energy, you can sit down like that. But I also suggest that don't really strain yourself too much. And also maybe you can stand for 15 minutes at a time, then walk around and then come back, things like that. But each time you come back, you prepare your mind. Now I'm going to chant to try my best. Okay? Okay? That was a very difficult question. Yes?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
I tried to put my mind in chanting, but I was seeing your books, I got distracted.
I knew it was my fault.
But I tried my best. I could concentrate on 50 to 100 mantras.
In every round.
Not in every round.
Altogether.
Total.
Yeah. Because it looked like you were chanting nicely and trying your best. Yeah.
But
You like to read, I think, yes?
not that much.
Then what are you chanting every book? The covers? You like the covers?
Yeah.
Which cover do you like the most?
All.
No. Which cover do you like the most? Which one attracts you the most? Don't be afraid to say
Japa.
the Japa one. What do you like about the Japa one?
Scenery.
Yes. You know what hill that is? It's Govardhan Hill. Have you ever seen Govardhan Hill?
When I was too small.
Yeah.
When I was 3 years.
How old?
When I was 3 years.
3 years old. And now you are
9.
9, okay. Maybe you can ask your parents to bring you again because you only saw it when you were
Next
2.
year I'm going.
Okay, that's right. But one thing is, don't worry. Later on, I'm going to show you a video that we took. That's about Govardhan Hill. Okay? You be ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And now, Mataji, for the last, and then we should chant a little more because we're almost out of time.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I chanted, but I didn't strain myself. I don't know how much time I could focus because I wasn't well. So I'm not well. Plus,
Did you hear one mantra?
I really don't know how I managed to chant. I was not able to chant also.
Okay, did you hear one mantra?
I really, a little bit I could hear.
Did you hear one mantra? Beginning with Hari? Yes? Good.
That much I could hear.
Very good. You're so fortunate. Now you should go and see a doctor.
No, Prabhu, I just wanted to know, like ups and downs comes in everyone's life. When in life all things are in downs, all professional, personal, health is everything is in zero level. So how to cope up with that anxiety and everything?
Okay. That question and how to live some important elements of the Krishna conscious life we're going to speak about in the 3 classes after the Japa class, which begins the day after tomorrow. There's 3 classes. It's called One Story with 4 Truths. And I'm going to talk about that question because we can't expect life to always be perfect. And it will have its ups and downs. So what to do? That's what we'll speak about that. How to use the difficulties of life to push us deeper in Krishna consciousness. We shall speak about that. Will you be able to come or are you going to be too ill?
No, I'll try to come.
Okay. And I shall try to do my best in this. Okay? And I hope you feel better.
Yeah, I pray so. Thank you, Prabhu.
But also, there's a point that's very, very heavy. Yes, there's a point that's very, very heavy, and we don't like to talk about it, especially with the children. So the children can all go like this. But the only problem is everyone is a child to somebody. But you can go like this for now. You see, the thing is that if when we are...
Still I can hear.
Okay. Huh? Okay. But you can listen, but don't worry about it. See, the problem is that, did I mention that I mentioned that yesterday about like Steve Jobs and what he said, and you didn't hear it. He said if you live every day as if it's going to be the last day in your life, one day you're going to be correct. You understand? Yeah. See, one day will come your time, my time, everyone's time to leave this world. And it's not a pleasant time. And the mind is always going to be disturbed because the soul is leaving the body. So if we don't practice in life to be determined that whether I'm up or down or to the left, to the right, if we don't practice in life, then what are we going to do at that time? What we'll do is become so internally terrified that it won't be very good for us. So we should practice, and therefore I say try your best. Okay, if you don't succeed perfectly, but if you tried your best, that is itself success. And don't give up. Okay?
The patience is difficult to keep.
Mataji, to the children, okay, you can take your food. Okay. To the children I say, don't worry, it's okay. But to you I'll say, I don't care that it's difficult. You have to try your best. It's in your own interest. And it's hard to be patient. It's hard to proceed with faith. It's hard to proceed with conviction. It's hard because living in this world is hard. Have you noticed that? Yeah. So we want to try our best to take shelter of Krishna, and this is the subject of the next set of classes after this one. Okay? Because it's in your interest. There's a saying that even Prabhupada said, The Lord helps those who help themselves. So our part is to try our best. Because there's no like magic, when we ask that question, so many people would ask me, what do you do if you can't do what you're supposed to do? I'm laughing now, but when I get asked questions like that, I don't laugh. I think I'm confused. So you just try your best. But you have to, who should take responsibility for your life? That's the essential point. And that's, in one sense, that's the basic preaching of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, is that we should be very responsible in our life. We should take responsibility for our life. And we should open our eyes and watch what's going on in the world. Watch people getting born, you watch people getting successful, and you watch people going up and then down, you watch people passing through to heaven, or maybe not always to heaven. We have to wake up to the harsh reality of material existence. And we should try our best to find us a shelter that we really trust. Regardless of how we feel, regardless of this, we want to hold tightly to that shelter. It's in our interest, and we have to take responsibility to try our best. Okay? How do you feel about what I just said to you?
Yeah, encouraging.
Encouraging. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go into depression, maybe.
No, it is encouraging. Its moral is do not give up.
And it's also a little. Sometimes we need a little. Yeah. Don't give up. Try your best, but you have to take responsibility for your life, and that goes for each and every one of us, and me too. There was one Western psychologist. He started the Gestalt theory of psychology. And one of his patients came to him and said that my life is so much trouble. I can't tolerate it anymore. I can't be patient. I'm unable to tolerate how difficult it is anymore. And the psychologist looked at him and said, good, then maybe you'll do something about it. Okay. Now we actually don't even have a few more minutes unless we can go. What I would suggest is we chat till 8:30, which is, I should set my watch to Bangalore Standard Time, like that, but we'll chant at 8:30 there, and then we'll show a little video having to do with Govardhan Hill. But now, please try your best. First, because we're talking and sometimes a little playful when we're talking. So that means we have to focus our mind on what we're going to do in the next few minutes. That is still a rare time, and it's still very fortunate that we are. And we try our best to be with Krishna in the form of His holy names. So prepare your mind and then offer prayers if you so desire. And then when you're ready, just begin to chant. mantra